Welcome, everyone. This is Tim and Sarah Cox here, coming to you live in Louisiana, and we are so excited about our interview with our friend Justin Prince today. So what do you want to say?
I'm excited, guys. If this is the first time you're watching us from our page and watching this interview, don't forget to follow our page, hit the like button, hit the notifications button. We try to come to you almost every Friday with an interview with a top leader in the industry. You know, we've been involved in the profession for about 6 years now, and one of the things we love the most about being involved in the network marketing profession is the people. We love the people in our organization. We love Crossline. We love people in other companies, and one of those guys, I'm going to try to invite him on here. Justin Prince, bring Justin on camera. Don't forget, guys, share this out with your friends in the network marketing profession. Tag them. And Justin's going to drop some bombs with us today. Waiting for him to come on.
Is this on the volume button? Does that matter?
What's up, Justin?
Hi.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How are you?
New
Let
Year.
me adjust
Happy
this
New
here.
Year, everyone that's watching. I just love
Yeah, Happy New Year
Year.
for sure. Great to be on with you guys.
Let's see. All right. So the baby's sleeping right now. Hopefully,
well,
she may make an
attempting.
appearance.
So we need to whisper through this whole interview.
Yeah. Well, she kind of loves being on camera, so we may bring her. The views go up when we bring the baby on camera.
She's not dressed to be on camera, though, so.
Yeah, so cool. So as I was saying, one of the things I love about the network marketing profession is the people that we get to meet. And one of the guys that we've met recently, I guess it was almost 2 months ago, Justin reached out to us. We had both taken part in the John Maxwell project for network marketers, different years, and he had seen our little segment. Hopefully it was good. And he reached out to
Loved
us.
it.
We've just been building a relationship over the last couple of months, and the guys had a lot of experience in the industry, a lot of success. So we're excited to share some of that with you today. And don't forget, guys, share the broadcast. It's going to be a good one. So maybe, Justin, a lot of people know who you are, but some might. Maybe start us off with a little bit of background of where you came. I know you've been in the profession for a long time. Just give us a brief rundown. And thank you again for coming and joining us today. Spending a little time with us.
Well, first of all, I'm honored to be on with both of you guys. Really appreciate you guys thinking of me and that we could chat for a few minutes. So you can see this picture behind me. This is like my whole world right there, right in a picture, right? So I'm a daddy first for sure. I'm a husband first for sure. My wife and I have been married for 15 years. Actually, yesterday was our official anniversary. We celebrated in South Africa a couple weeks ago, and then we're going on another kind of excursion tonight.
Nice.
Kind of like a staycation, if you will, tonight. So
Happy anniversary.
thank you so much. Yeah. So my wife's, she's luckily put up with me for 15 years. So from the day we met to the day we were married was 3 months, and I never thought I would be that guy, and I was that guy. It was like, I'm like, let's do this. Like I'm in love with you, so let's roll. So it worked out well. But I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah, and I came from a good home, like a middle class home, but I came from a broken home. So at age 12, my folks got divorced. We moved 13 times in the next 7 years. So from age 12 to 20, we moved 13 times. So we kind of were kind of all over the place a little bit. And my dad was in real estate. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. I was the oldest at home with my mom. And when I was, I did some mission work for my church. But when I was 21 years old, I got home, and my first job. Like I'd made pizzas and done construction work. My first job was I sold animated Bible movies out of the mall. Like, you guys remember like the mall? We all used to go to the mall a long time ago when like the Amazon was a river. We would hang out at the mall. And I was the dude in the kiosk when you went to the mall that you would try and like not make eye contact with, because you're like, if he looks at us, honey, he's gonna like suck us into his little mall kiosk and sell us whatever he sells.
I always get sucked in.
Yeah,
I feel like I have to buy.
That's so
Terrible.
funny. So drop a one if you've ever been sucked into the mall kiosk and bought from the mall kiosk. That was me. And the cool thing with sales is I refined my ability to work hard. My dad taught me to work hard as a kid. I learned how to work hard. But with skills, if you have a good attitude and you acquire the skill sets, like the actual tactical skills, you can actually, do well at it. And so was introduced to that, and kind of whetted my palate for the idea of commission and the idea of kind of controlling your schedule a little bit. I was introduced to this whole network marketing idea when I was 25. Now, I want to point this out, Tim. All I knew about network marketing is I didn't want to know anything else. I was like the biggest skeptic on the planet. I was just like, I'm never doing one of those one things,
That was me.
And then when I got over my issues. I don't know how it was for you, but I remember when I got over my issues, I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, hey, so you own your own business. You don't really risk any of your credit or capital. It's all residual. You get to travel around the world. You get to train people. You get to speak on stages. You get to help people. You get to like, the income opportunity is potentially endless. I was like, I love all that stuff. I'm like, I just have to get over my issues, you know, like actually being proud of what I'm doing. And so the short story is this: became the #3 earner and the national spokesperson for my first company. 26 years old. My wife and I were in every Barnes and Noble and Borders newsstand all over the country. So I was like, I'm the man, you know. And then the company went out of business, and I'm like, I'm not the man anymore, you know. So like, I had to start over from scratch. And my second company, I thought it would take me 2 months to get full time. It took me 22 months. By the way, drop a 2 in the comments if you've been involved in networking at all. And it was like a little harder than you anticipated and you thought it was going to be, you know. And ultimately, it took me basically 2 years to get full time. I eventually became the #2, the fastest growing distributor we had in the U.S. Traveled all over the world. I spoke in Moscow and Omsk, Russia, and Almaty, Kazakhstan when I was 29 years old. Made my first $1 million in my 20s. I had this amazing experience. And I ended up selling that business. Another thing I love about networks is you can actually sell the business. Got into private equity consulting for the next 2 years. And then just over 5 years ago, by the way, I know this is like the longest story, bro. I promise the rest of the answers, the rest of the video will be shorter than this, okay? But the 5 years ago, I came in as a consultant originally to a company that was 25 years old. They had done $6.7 billion in sales in 25 years, but they had 8 years of declining revenue. And I came in as like a consultant to help them kind of transform this existing company. And in that process, we built a new company and basically birthed a new company out of the remnants, if you will, of this existing company. And it's been an unbelievable ride, dude. I'm giving you guys the short version. There's been tons of, you know how success is. There's tons of ups and downs, and it's a grind, and it's hard and scary and fun and exhilarating, and it's like all those emotions all into one. But I've been able to generate hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, which has been unbelievable, and it's been really unbelievable. So it's been a really cool experience. I've been kind of on the consultant side, the owner side, and the top leader side of our profession. So I've kind of seen the profession from different angles and learned a ton about leadership and people and, you know, systems and business and just the whole thing. So it's been an incredible experience. And I want to echo what you said. Walt Disney said, my greatest resource is my people. He said, I can hire people with more artistic talent than I have. And my greatest resource is people like you guys. They're just the friendships and the relationships that you build. And I was so grateful that when I reached out to you guys, instead of kind of having a smug, you know, kind of like we know it all, you guys are just so cool and so down to earth and so friendly and so warm. And I just really, really enjoyed getting to know you two and love building that friendship and relationship, and I just think the world of you guys.
We really enjoyed getting to know you too. Like, we haven't officially met in person, but
exactly right.
Like our friend Justin. Like, we're friends, and I'm sure we're gonna meet up. Yeah, we're gonna meet up at some event somewhere, one way or another. It's gonna happen. Exactly. You're gonna have to take the family to New Orleans, or we're gonna have to go visit up wherever, because like we're friends now. So you've been through a lot with network marketing. How did you get through those really hard times? Like, what kept you motivated through all of that?
So look, I want to be just as transparent as I can with you guys, but also be punchy. So the best thing I can say is this: it was vision. And I know that sounds like what does that mean? I remember I had a mentor of mine that gave me a plaque, like a wood plaque, an engraven plaque, and it said, lead with vision. Really great advice I'm going to share with you is this. You can get through anything that's really challenging, or the grind or the hustle or whatever, if you can just see a vision further. Like, I remember at one point my wife and I, so we have 4 little babies, and we've been pregnant 6 times. We had a miscarriage and a stillborn birth, and she gets terribly sick. My wife gets terribly sick when she gets pregnant. Like it's not good. Like, we have to go to the hospital.
That's incredible that she did it that many times, because I had a great pregnancy, and I'm still like, I don't want to do it again, but I'm going to do it again.
So she had this really challenging pregnancies. And I remember at one point, our company goes out of business. So you hear these success stories, right? Like bazillion dollars of revenue, and you're like, oh my gosh. You hear the success stories, but our company had gone completely out of business. We had moved into the loft above my wife's parents' garage. I'm 27 years old. I have 2 little babies that sleep in the closet. My wife and I sleep in the room. There's one room, a closet, and a bathroom. And we were supposed to be there for like 2 weeks. We were there for 9 months. I have a sick wife at home. I'm working 2 full-time jobs, plus trying to build my network marketing business. Like, how many of us have ever like late awake at night, it's like 1 in the morning and it's pitch black. And we're like, is this gonna, like, are you awake? And she's like, yeah. She's like, are you awake? I'm like, yeah. She's like, is this gonna work? You know, like, what are we doing here? Like, are we like chasing like a fake network marketing dream? And so I know what it's like to go through that grind. Now, how did you get through that? Like, what did you do? And the answer was, I felt so blessed. Seriously, I feel so fortunate that I just had this like vision that like we were going to be able to pull this thing off and like what our life could look like. And I have to pinch myself sometimes to always remember back to that grind and to remember the vision. So more tactically, I remember with our team, like there's ups and downs of your team. There was times when it was down, like we're like frustrated trying to figure things out. And I would try and like rise up out of it and share with everybody, here's the vision of where we're trying to get to. Like, let's all rally behind a similar vision. And that vision for me has been one of the kind of differences, if you will, of probably what should have happened. I probably should have not been able to pull it off, but we pulled it off because we were just able to hang tight to a vision. Even when you couldn't really see it very clearly, you could still hang tight to it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good stuff. So if my math is correct, I think we talked and we're very close in age. I'm 38. And you said you're in a profession since you were 25. So that's 20 plus years. And obviously now today you use social media. Like how much has social media changed for you? Like changed the game for you and your business?
So it's changed completely, but let me share this. Social media is communication. So people are like, I don't like it, or I do like it, or it's going to stay, or it's going to go, or it's too much, or it's too little. It's just communication. I'll give you guys an example. It's the way human beings communicate. Hundreds of years ago, the way that we would communicate with each other is we would do smoke signals. Like we'd be like, oh my gosh, look, like honey, the Cox has had a child. Like, oh my goodness, smoke signals. Like that's how we would communicate with each other, right? And then I'm sure that the day came at some point where someone said, okay, so let me see if I got this right, Tim and Sarah. Let me see if I can understand. I'm going to walk up to my wall and I'm going to pick something up off the wall that's hooked with wires. And somehow magically, I'm going to talk into this thing in the wall and I'm going to hold it to my ear, and my sister in Chicago is going to pick up on the other line. We're going to talk back and forth. Like, are you crazy? And they're like, yeah, that's it. That's exactly what's going to happen. Like wires, and they're going to be connected all throughout the country. And we're all just probably like, what are you guys talking about? What happened is the phone connected us more. We probably thought, I'm sure people thought it's going to like ruin humans forever. You know, it was the exact opposite. It connected them more. Social media is communication. It's a platform for us to communicate. And in networking, I mean, what are we trying to do? We're trying to like share the story. We're trying to communicate with other people. We're trying to build relationships. You guys know this. This is one of the reasons I respect you guys so much. We do business when all things are equal, people we know, like, and trust. Social media allows us to build know, like, and trust with people. It allows us to communicate, right? And that's the power of it. So it has completely changed our business. And I want to point out, I came from, if you will, the old school. Like, someone put hashtag old school in the comments. If you were raised and it was just like, the way that you did it was the way, and there's only one way, and it's like kneecap to kneecap, dude, freaking belly to belly. And if it's not that, it's like somehow not real. That's how I was raised too. Well, guess what? Like, there's other ways to communicate, and the ways to communicate nowadays are better. They've gotten progressively better than they were when we were doing smoke signals and Pony Express, you know?
When I think about the size of an organization that we built using those methods, I'm like, how did we even do it? They wouldn't even let me text. I got to where I am without texting. What?
That's so fun.
It's crazy. I'm so thankful that it worked out, because I was 25 whenever I got started as well, in a world where I didn't call my friends. If my friends called me, I didn't answer. I would shoot them a text, and then all of a sudden I'm in network marketing and they're like, you got to pick up the phone. I'm like, what? How's this going to work? But it did. So like, when you ran into that skepticism, did you run into the skepticism? How did you get over that? What did you do? How did you just become the person to build?
Well, let me say this. Okay, so I'll say it to you guys this way. We had, like, in our company, like in my organization, we had like a 2018 story. We had this cool story to go tell people, but we were using like 1975 tactics. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're like, well, you have to build it this way and then go tell the story. So what would happen is this: when someone heard the story, they're like, awesome. Like, this story is awesome. And then like, how do I succeed at this story? And I'm like, okay, what you do? And then I would like tell them these 1975 tactics of how to go share it. And they're like, that doesn't, like, they didn't sync up. They didn't jive with each other. And so I was always wanting to learn the social game. Like my first Facebook post, guys, I had 0 likes and I had 1 comment. And the 1 comment was my neighbor making fun of the post. Okay, so I wasn't off to a roaring start on social media, okay?
That's engagement.
So someone drop a 3 in the comments, or actually someone drop a sad face emoji if you can relate to the 1 comment being your neighbor making fun of you and no likes. And so my first Facebook video, I'm sure, was like the worst thing anyone's ever seen in like human history. It's just like, what is this guy doing sharing this message? And so for me, it was just a matter of learning it. Now, here's what was so cool, Sarah, is you could actually take the principles of what built networks, the principles of building networks, and you could, the principles of like the whole like old school way that we're like, this is the only way to do it, building relationships and so on. You could take the same principles and you could actually apply it to social media to where you're doing the same, in essence, the same stuff as far as from a principle base, but you're using a different communication tool. Dude, once I got that and I could like see how the dots connected, I was like, we're gonna do it. We built one of the fastest growing teams, I would assume, in network marketing over the last, let's say, 2.5 years or so, 2 years, 2.5 years. And we've done it all on Facebook. If you'd have told me that 3 years ago that was possible, I would have told you that there was no way. Like there was no way that was even possible. So it's been really cool to see.
Well, that's cool. And I know there's a lot of people watching this interview right now that maybe they've heard about this social media thing. I've heard a lot of people say it's not duplicatable. It's, it won't ever last. What do you say to somebody who really wants to do social media? They're on Facebook or maybe another platform, but they don't know where to start. Like, what would you say would be the first few steps for them to start moving towards the direction of leveraging this powerful tool of Facebook?
Okay, so first of all, what you just shared, I want to kind of go back, like it's not duplicatable and like you have to do it this way, like the old way, and kneecap and the whole thing. I'm just sharing with you guys. It would be like not building your network marketing business with a telephone. It's like, no, there's this new thing. It's called a phone. And it makes it a little bit easier. Like, it's like, we don't have to just all meet at Denny's all the time. Like, this is actually easier. It's better to do it like the new way. Okay, so here's what I would share. Number one, people, when all things are equal, we do business with people we know, like, and trust. So your job is not to go to social media and pound everybody, like post your link and just, my company's amazing, my products are amazing. Your goal is to go there and share your authentic voice and to like be social with people and be friendly and give to the platform. Like give meaning comment on people's stuff in an authentic way and like their stories and talk to them, like have an authentic conversation. This is the biggest mistake I see people make is they go there to like, I'll give you guys a quick example. If we met at if we went to a dinner party together, right? Like a reception of some sort. None of us, the three of us, none of us are going to stand up on the table in front of the big party. Excuse me, everyone. Hi, excuse me, everyone. Ding, 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 like clap, like hit our fork against our glass. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you guys. Okay. I'm just, new to the party. Okay. And I'm looking for 3 ambitious people here at the party that would like to, be part of my business. Please meet me in the corner and we'll talk later. We would all be like, who freaking brought this guy, right? We would never do that in a real life, but we get on social media and all of a sudden, like we turn all awkward. I tell people, write this down in the comments, somebody. Think like a customer, act like a human. Just be a normal human being. You don't go there to sell, you go there to build relationships, because when all things are equal, people will do business with people they know, like, and trust. So go out there and share your authentic voice and share your life and be an authentic, good human being to people. I mean, I hate to go back to the basics here, but that's the first thing I would share is don't go to social media to sell, go to social media to give and to provide value and to share content. So that would probably be my first thing. I think the second thing is this. Don't look at it as like this big, humongous chore. Like basically I would say be consistent. This is not like this big, humongous chore that like, oh my gosh, now I got to log into Facebook and like act like I like people. No, like, dude, it's now part of your life. It's one of the ways that you can connect with more people and you can talk to people and brighten their day and say, I love, your little daughter looks so cute at her dance performance. Hope she did great. Go there to give and to support and just be consistent. Don't go in for a day and then out for a week and in for a week and out for a month and in for a month and out for a year and think that like, it doesn't work, No, that's not the issue. Like the issue is just be consistent. Play the long game here. Don't go there to try and like go right for the close, if you will. It's more of a long game. So act like a customer, think like a human, and be consistent would be 2 of the just first things I would share.
Social media is such a powerful tool, and I hear a lot of people saying that, social media prospects, eventually you have to take them offline. And while I do agree sometimes taking it offline is absolutely important, I think more important is taking your offline prospects online. I don't know if you agree with that. We meet people every day, or say we have friends that we know outside of social media, and if you don't take them at some point to social media, you won't be able to use social media as just that massive follow-up tool. So you got to hope you see them at church, or hope you see them in the grocery store, or try to schedule a time where you can go meet each other when everybody's got families and schedules. Bringing them to social media keeps you in their mind. I mean, wouldn't you agree with that?
It helps you build
Oh my gosh.
a relationship.
Yes. So check this out. So any marketing, Nike, Apple, they do it through touch points, right? It's impressions. You see the billboard, you watch the commercial, you saw the app, you saw the advertisement, a friend told you about it. It's like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 touch points really, really fast, right? That's what those guys do. They're geniuses at touch points, at impressions. So if I meet somebody and we have now I'm meeting them person to person, face to face, friends to friends. One of the first things that I'll do if I have a connection with them and say is, are you on Facebook? I call it the magic question. And I know it sounds so silly, but the magic question is, are you on Facebook? Now, why would I want to take it a offline relationship online? One of the main reasons is on social media, I want them to start to see what's going on in my life, like what's going on in the world. Because they can Facebook stalk me in like a really healthy way, be like, what's up with this guy? What's he up to? And so on. And you'll get messages that are like, dude, I just met you at the park and with your kids and it's awesome. But like, what do you do? Like, who are you? Now, you don't go up to that guy at the park and be like, I just want you to know I'm actually pretty amazing. I'm something. That's not going to go over so hot either. And so I just say, are you on Facebook? And they're like, yeah. And then you go to Facebook and they'll sort of like, they see that you're doing interviews with incredible people like you guys, and like life's happening and there's big things going on. So I absolutely teach it's one of the lines I teach, are you on Facebook? And I know it sounds so silly, but I've seen people go from 400 friends to over 5,000 friends with that line, just because, and not because they're out there bugging people, but just in their daily normal life, they're taking relationships that they meet onto Facebook, and that's how they're building their businesses.
It's the new business card. It's the new business card and
hold on one sec. My wife just turned on our intercom. Okay, we're off. Okay, we're back.
Like, watch what you say.
I'm in my den, and she's like, your den is like it's like in the worst spot, and she designed the whole house. I'm like, sweetie, this is your fault, sweetheart, because you put my den right in the middle of the house. So we have little dancers. My little girls are dancers. She puts the music on. They start dancing around the house.
We know exactly what it's like to work from home. Yeah.
Any tips on that?
But by the way, I love that. I didn't hear what you said. So you said Facebook is a new business card. Sarah, yeah. I love that. If you don't mind, I'm going to steal that. That is so good.
Yeah. Did you say it?
I said it.
Tim said it. I don't mind at all.
Sarah says it with that smile, dude. So she wins out.
Sometimes we say it's a new business card, and sometimes we say it's a new resume, because let's face it, people are going to look at your profile and see what type of person you are. They're going to see what type of content you put out. They're going to see what your past history is. They're going to go through your photo albums. Like, what type of person is this? So, cleaning up that Facebook profile is huge for your business.
So let me say this. It's what you just said is true, not just like in a network marketing context. Like, if you go to get a job, if you don't think your employer is going to go look at your Facebook profile and like check out what you're up to, you're crazy. Like, come on, dude. Like, this is the new world. This is how we communicate. And and by the way, I'll share this, guys. What I see is what you are. Meaning, if you are on there and you're like partying with everybody and you're like, whoa, let's do this, and it's like late nights all the time, guess what I think you are? Like kind of like a party or something like that. Like, in other words, what I see is what you are. Now, whether that's fair or not, I don't know. So what you can do is you can craft this idea that, hey, I want to share an authentic brand, but I also want to share a brand that's uplifting and inspiring people. I don't go there to do drama and do all my politics and like wear everybody out all the time with all my issues. I go there to like share value with people, because what I see is what you are in social media.
Perception is reality.
So what advice would you give to someone who has anxiety about social media and posting and that?
Look, okay, I'm gonna answer that in two ways. Some of us actually have literal anxiety. Like, it's like chemically there's some stuff going on, and I would encourage you to go to get whatever help you need. Okay, so I'm talking like a person that's not like literally. My wife's got the music playing here. If she doesn't turn it off, I'm gonna take 1 sec and tell her that we are in the middle of a video. Okay.
Background.
So some people have literal anxiety, so I'm not going to address that one. I'm going to talk to a person that like doesn't have literal like chemical anxiety. They have like they're just shy, or they're just stressed out, or they don't want to put themselves out there, and so on.
They're afraid of what people might think.
Yeah, exactly right. We're afraid of what people will think. There's also, I think, Sarah, I think there's a little bit of what I call the who am I? Like, who am I to do Facebook Lives? Like, who am I to like be a superstar? And like, who am I to like post inspirational quotes or whatever? Like, my friends are all going to make fun of me if I feel that way, right? Like all of a sudden I'm this big star. I'm going to share two quick things. There's a great book called Presence. Now, not present like a gift that you get for Christmas, but presence, like when someone walks into a room, like people are like, who is that? You know, like they have a presence about them. It's written by a Harvard professor named Amy Cuddy. She did a research on a thing called the spotlight effect. The spotlight effect is that across the board, we think people are thinking and talking about us more than they actually are. That's number one. The second results of that study said this: we assume, like almost categorically, that they're thinking about us more than they are, and that it's negative. Like we don't think people are like talking about how awesome we are. We think they're talking about like, what's in his teeth? Like, what's the deal with this guy, you know? Oh my goodness, this music's like adding to the ambiance of the whole interview here. So we're gonna do our best, okay? My little girls, I'll tell you what I think it is. My little girls have a private dance little tutor downstairs. And I think that's what this is the private dance. So
it's fine. It's not over. It's not embarrassing.
Really
Good.
yeah, if you can hear me, we're gonna keep rocking, okay? So here's the point is, hold on, let me see if I can turn it on. Dude, check that out.
Sure. I can't have other things happening around me because
this intercom system, each room has the ability to turn it on and off. So I just turned my room off. So we're back.
Perfect.
Dude, how's this for dad life, dude? I'm like if a kid doesn't run in here during this interview, something is weird happening. Like normally I have kids crawling all over me in my videos.
Our baby's room is literally 3 feet on the side of us, and luckily she hasn't woken up yet. So
magically she went down for a nap 2 minutes before we went live.
That is so cute. So, okay, what we're talking about? Okay, spotlight effect. They're thinking about us more than we think. They're thinking about us all the time, and then it's negative. Let me give you guys an example. Many of us will live our whole life concerned about what everyone else thinks. Let me share with you guys an illustration. Someone knocks on the door. You're like in an argument with your kids, and you're in an argument with your spouse, and you're like, oh my gosh, and you're like freaking out, and the house is dirty. Someone drop a 4 in the comments if you've ever done this. You go open the door, and you're like, hello, like best face all of a sudden, you know. Or you're in an argument with your spouse and kids and you're freaking out and you're like melting down and all of a sudden the phone rings and you pick it up. Hello! Like all of a sudden you're back to like the happiest person ever, you know? Why? Because we care so much what everybody else thinks. Well, guess what? We'll treat people that we love with all of our hearts, our spouse, our kids, whatever, like garbage. And then the door knocks and we're like all of a sudden in our best behavior. The point I'm trying to say is we kind of have to get over this whole like, what is everyone thinking of me? Here's what Amy Cuddy's advice was, the Harvard professor. Her advice was, go hit the ball. She talks about baseball players that get up to bat. They've got 60,000 fans, plus all the people around the world watching on TV, plus they're on the Jumbotron. Please welcome to the bat, you know, to the plate, Tim Cox. And you're like, oh my gosh, what if I freaking strike out? Like, what if this doesn't go well? Like, what if like I look like an idiot? What if I freeze up? It's like real stuff for people, real anxiety for people. Like it really, like, what if I get on Facebook Live and I just like stare at it like, I don't know what to say, you know? So the point is, what it says is all that you can do is just get up and hit the ball. Because most people are eating their hot dog, they're on their phone, they're talking to the person. They're actually not that worried about you. It's like, that's really what the point I'm trying to get to. The spotlight effect means we think they're worrying about us. They're not really worrying about you. So all you can do is get up there and hit the ball. So that's the first thing I would share. Now I have a deeper thing real quick to answer that question. Throughout all of human history, we've left, if you will, signs that we existed. Like the Egyptians built pyramids. Like people wrote hieroglyphics on caves. Like people would write books, or they would paint. They would build paintings. I've been in Paris and London and Italy where they have beautifully, unbelievably majestic paintings. I've seen the Mona Lisa, the most famous painting in the world. We know that Da Vinci existed because he painted it, right? He like signed his name at the bottom. Here's the point I would share with you. On social media, if you're not providing content on the social media, you don't exist on social media. And one of the reasons I like started doing videos, I know this sounds like so deep, and I'm sorry for your poor audience. They're like, what? This is like too deep now all of a sudden. But like, I did it because I feel like it's part of my legacy. And again, I know this is deep, but I'm just saying, like, I hope my grandkids and my great grandkids like see some of these videos and like, dude, my grandpa or my great grandpa or whoever it was, he was like talking about like positive things. And he was trying to inspire people, and he's an entrepreneur, and he's building a business. I want him to know that I existed, that I was like somebody. And I tell people, there's nothing worse. So Sarah, here's really what I would answer. There's nothing worse than dying with the music still in you. Like, many people have a song to sing that they never sing, or a book to write they never wrote, or a YouTube to post they never posted, or a Facebook Live to go live with they never went live with, because they just die with it in them because they're so worried about what everybody else is going to think about them. And I would just share with you, freaking get over it, dude. They're thinking less about you than you think they are. They probably are cheering you on. And even if they are saying that you're an idiot, hopefully you're inspiring somebody else to have a positive day. So that's what I would share.
That was awesome.
Yeah, one of Les Brown's quotes are, live full, die empty. And so
love, dude.
Yeah. So a couple more questions and we'll let everybody go. What was your proudest moment in network marketing? I know you've had a lot of accomplishments. You've been at the top of several companies. Just what would you say was that one moment you're like, this is what it's all about? Like, what is your proudest moment?
Wow, that is
probably a lot of them.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to say it this way. That is such an interesting question. I think a weakness that I have, truthfully, is that like when I climb the mountain, I'm like, hey, where's the next mountain? And they're like, dude, just look at the view of this mountain. Like, isn't this pretty awesome for a second? Like I maybe like am always trying to keep it going. Or we climb the mountain and I'm looking and thinking of how I help everyone else up the mountain, for example, right? So you almost like never are quite there. You never like quite arrive, you know? Like I have hunger. Like I wake up early. Like I don't necessarily have to, and I wake up early and I'm studying, and because I'm like still hungry to do more and become more and share more and do more. So on some ways, a lot of it just hasn't happened. But I'll share a quick story. I remember when the two hardest things in business, the two hardest things to do in business, a turnaround is number one, and a startup company is number two. It's like if you want to pick the hardest things to do, a turnaround is number one, a startup company is number two. We did both of those all at once. Like the business that we started was like literally both all at once. We like turned around an existing company and launched a new company as we did the turnaround. It was the hardest thing ever. And there was massive amounts of emotion and emotional risk and stress. And remember when we launched Japan, at the time, Japan was our biggest market. And I mean, it was a big market, like hundreds of millions of a year in revenue. It was a big deal. And I remember when I went over there, we'd launched the US, we had a kind of our ups and downs, our bumps and bruises, but also we were succeeding. And I remember being at the airport, drove right from my office to the airport to go to Japan. And I illustrate that to say, I was like in the grind, dude. I might get the office grinding right before I go. And I felt this, I felt overwhelming weight. I felt overwhelming weight because I was I was like the figurehead. I was like the speaker. I was the one that, it was 10,000 people in the Ariake Coliseum in Tokyo, Japan. And I was the one that they're all coming there to say, okay, like, is this real or not real? Like, what are you guys doing with our company? Like, is this going to work out? And I felt weight because there was tens of thousands of families all over the world that if I screwed up and if we didn't deliver and if we didn't perform and if we didn't, do the things we promised that we would do as from a business perspective, we were going to potentially hurt all these families. It was when I say I felt weight, I was in the airport, true story, I'm gonna make this quick. I was in the airport walking the terminals, waiting for my flight to Japan, kind of stressed out, kind of anxious, whatever. And I literally was like in tears, dude. Now, like, not trying to be like the biggest wuss of your Facebook Live interview thing, but like literally I just had tears coming down. Tried to call my wife, couldn't get a hold of her. I called a partner of mine, a gentleman named Bob Goshen, neatest guy you'll ever meet in your whole life. He's in his 70s, chock full of wisdom. I'm pacing up and down. Now I have the earphones in like this, the little cord down. I'm walking through the airport, and everyone's probably walking by me like, "What the freak's wrong with this guy? Why is he freaking got tears rolling down his face?" And I call Bob and I just go, "Dude, it's just, I can just feel the weight of all this." It was like more leadership than I was ready for. Drop a 6 in the comments if you've ever had those experiences, whether it's as a parent or as a leader, where you're like, "I'm not sure I'm up for all this." Like this is like more weight than I'm quite ready for as a at this time in my life. And he actually said a prayer for me, but not like, most people are like, "I'll pray for you, dude." He's like, "I'm going to pray for you." And like the dude said a prayer, like on the phone, he started saying this prayer. And it really meant a lot to me, like kind of calmed me down. It really meant a lot to me. So here's the point. I went and spoke. Now, the stage was like a boxing ring, meaning it was a 360 stage. There was audience all the way around the stage. It wasn't like a stage where you're looking out at the audience like this. They were 360. So no matter which way you turned, someone was to your back and someone was to your side and so on. So I remember they're like, you know, they do the introduction, da, 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 Justin Prince. And I walk out, you know, I run out in this big, huge boxing ring type stage, if you will, and speak to 10,000 people in the Ariake Coliseum. I'm running this, you know, I'm helping to run this multi-$100 million enterprise. I'm 32 or 33. I think I was 33 years old at this point. And I remember thinking, I got off that stage and we ultimately succeeded with that whole launch. It all went well. And I remember just thinking, that was like surreal. You know, like that whole thing was like surreal. It wasn't that I was so proud. I was just like, it was like a pinch me moment where you're just like, we are like doing something big here. You know, like we're like changing the world here. So again, I could give you 50 others, but that was one that really meant a lot to me. And we were really making an impact. It was happening. Like the vision that we had was literally becoming real for people. And that was really cool.
That's a really, really big moment. I mean, it's incredible when you think about what your presence and you showing up and being that leader is going to do, the ripple effect. That's what I love most about this business. I love knowing, and I had hit a point at my last rank where I felt this incredible pressure, like, oh my gosh, now I'm supposed to show up on this like whole new level. So whenever you go and you deliver like that and affect thousands of lives, which go on to affect thousands of more lives, it is such an incredible experience. Congratulations for like surviving that one, because that's a big one.
So can I share this? Can I share this with you, Sarah, to kind of echo your point? And again, I'll be quick, but I'll share it with you this way. How many of us, so in the comments, how many of you put a yes in the comments if you could share with the three of us how your parents met and how they fell in love? Like, we know the story. Our dad fell in love with this about our mom, and our mom fell in love with this about our dad, and there was this connection. This is where they met. How many of us put a yes, yes, yes if you could tell us how your grandparents fell in love and where they met, where your grandma was from, and where, you know, how old were they, and why did your grandma love your grandpa, and why did your grandpa love your grandma? And you know the story, right? Well, what about your great-great-grandma and your great-great-grandpa and your great-great-great-grandpa? Here's the point, is I wanted to live a life, and this is what I love about what you guys are doing. So I think it's like why we have like almost a deeper connection. And again, I know I'm getting a little deep on us here, and it's a little awkward. I get it, but there's a deeper connection, and what the deeper connection is this desire to one day, and if you're watching this, is what my hope is for you, that one day when someone looks up that family tree, they can point up and they'll say it was her or it was him, and they're telling your story, and you're their great-great-great-grandpa or their great-grandmother, whatever it is, and they say she was the one that taught our family financial independence. She was the one that instilled the principles of economic freedom into our family. Like it was her. Like she's the one that changed the trajectory of our family's heritage forever. And I know that is so like intense and deep and whatever. I'm sharing like that. Actually, I want to be the one. And someone drop in the comments, be the one. Like, to me, this is part of what I would encourage, the challenge I would leave people with is like, be the one. Like, be the one that has generational impact. And by the way, Sarah, not just in your children who are yet unborn, not just having generational impact on children who are yet unborn in your line, but these platforms that we have in our profession of building networks, Sarah, you can have impact on generations of children who are yet unborn in many family lines, because you can be the one that moved many different people. So that's part of where I think that emotional connection comes from, and why we do some, like the deeper reason of why we do some of this stuff. And again, if you're watching this and you're like, don't get it, you're probably like, it's super deep. I don't get it.
That's funny that you say that.
Works for me.
Yeah, she used to make fun of me when we used to do presentations together, and I said, I want to build a business that's for our grandkids. She's like, I can't think that far, you know? So yeah. I've always had this image of creating a business that will leave a legacy for a long time.
26, we weren't married. I'm like, grandkids, like, I'm just not thinking there yet. Like, I'm just trying to build this for me right now.
That is so
I don't want to
cool.
work a job anymore.
That's right. Amen. Amen.
I was a little older, a little bit more wise. So.
Look, dude. She's always had you on Smile. Her smile can light up the entire social media platform, dude.
Absolutely. I've been smiling for 6 years.
That's right. That's right.
All right. So one last thing, your biggest tip to everyone watching.
Look, we all have different goals and different objectives of what we're trying to accomplish, different dreams, different whys. My best tip is basically this, that my definition of legacy. So what is your legacy? Your legacy to me is two things. And this would be the tip. It's not what did you accomplish? Like, it's not how much money you have. Your legacy is not how many assets you've acquired. Your legacy is two words. It's what and how. What did you do with the gifts and talents you were given, and how did you go about doing it? So in other words, my tip is to like magnify who you were, like what the gifts you have, like don't rest on them, you know, like magnify them a little bit. Like if you have some talents and you can go, if you can, Jim Rohn says, if you can, should you? If you can inspire somebody, should you? If you can touch somebody, should you? So it's what are you going to do with the gifts and talents that you had? And then secondly is how do you go about doing it? Like, do you lift people up or do you squish them down? You know, like is your tongue a razor blade, or is your tongue something that cuts people up, or is it your tongue something that inspires people? Like, how do you use these talents and how do you go about it? Like, what kind of legacy are you leaving for people? And what I would share is this. You know, a lot of that comes down to being consistent. It comes down to having passion for what you do, passion for when you talk to people, but it really comes down to this legacy. Like, what did you do with what you were given, and how did you go about doing it? And my best advice is create a good legacy. Like, answer those two questions really, really well. Building your business is only a part of what this is all about. Like, who you're becoming in the process matters. The relationships you're building matter. How you're doing it matters. The respect you're treating people with and so on, that actually really is, it matters. So I would say do it with legacy, you know, play the long game. Do it with legacy in mind versus just making a buck, you know, just like, you know, like getting your weekly commission, you know?
Awesome. Well, we sure appreciate your time. We respect the heck out of you and have enjoyed the last couple months of getting to know you and learning from you. Why don't you let these guys know where they can find you, especially, you know, follow social media for sure, but just drop a line, let them know where they can follow your stuff.
Yeah, so I would encourage you to follow my personal page first. My personal page, and you can just follow it, right? I post some content. So it's just Justin Prince on social. I also have my kind of fan page, if you will, and you can follow that as well. I post a ton of great content to both. Obviously, you guys can follow me on Instagram as well. But my goal is, you know how like people pick words for the year. Like, my new word is resolution or whatever. They pick these different words. What's been on my heart is 3 words. It's influence, impact, inspire. Like, that's like I feel like that's my, like, at least for the foreseeable future, my job is to influence, impact, and inspire people. So I hope when you follow me, or if you choose to, that I can influence you in a positive way, I can impact your life in a positive way, and I can inspire you. And again, if you're not following Tim and Sarah, I'm going to encourage you to, because that's what they do. Like, they influence, impact, and inspire me. And so just an honor to be on here with you guys. Sure appreciate you making the effort.
Awesome. Well, drop some love for Justin. You'll see some emojis flying across the screen. This was good stuff. So you have any parting words?
I just love him even more now.
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet.
I watch your videos. I love your content. I could feel your heart when you speak. And I just love everything that you're about. And I'm so glad that you reached out to us and made that connection.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
Been such a great journey so far.
Hey, so, Tim, let me give one other thing. So I have a book that I wrote that they're welcome to go grab if they'd like as well. It's called Change Your World, 5 Steps to Unapologetic Success. And I wrote it because my life is a living embodiment, a living example that you can change your world. Like, you don't have to, like, the trajectory you're on now doesn't have to be the trajectory you end on. Like, you can come from less than optimal circumstances and you can build an incredible life, right? So you can go to IamJustinPrince.com and you can get my book for free. I'll send you a free copy of it as well.
Awesome. Well, it's been a great 45 minutes. We ran long, but it was value from start to finish. We hope to talk to you soon, Justin. Have an amazing day. And everyone, share this broadcast out, and we'll see you next week. All right.
Thanks, brother.
Bye.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Tim. See you guys.
All right. Bye-bye.